Hey everyone, welcome back. Different type of video this week. This is actually going out the day after this happened. So this is on a Sunday. Yesterday, WWE released a bunch of names. Some of them are pretty big, some of them are surprising, some of them not surprising, and we're going to go through them with you guys right now. This all started back in November when they released Baron Corbin, and that one was a little weird.
That's the same time as that. Didn't they also release Tegan Knox
Yes, Tegan Knox was another one that they released.
and Indy Hartwell, right? Or
Hmm
is Indy Hartwell still there?
That was no Indy Hartwell was another one of those names that were released. So that those three names were back in early mid to late November, right before the Christmas break.
Which are
But
all starting this off Triple
mhm,
H guys.
yes, especially Baron Corbin.
Okay, now
Is
let's.
but that one was a little, and that's why we found that a little surprising. It's not so much that he was released; he was his contract just wasn't being renewed. So yesterday on Saturday afternoon, couple names were released. The Authors of Pain were released for the second time.
Yep, to another set of Triple H guys. So
Hmm
I want to point that out specifically. So they were brought back
By
during
Triple
when
H.
he took over.
Hmm
He brought them back because
hmm
they were his guys, and
hmm
he was upset that Vince let them go. So when he got full power, he brought them back right away, and they
Yeah.
said we're not coming back without Paul Ellering, who's also released.
Yeah. Who was also released as part of that. That whole package was released. So Japan,
I don't know. Someone had a really good theory that I was talking to and said, what if TNA signs both of them with Paul Ellering and Rachel Ellering, and then you
formed their
get
own.
someone from a singles wrestler, a male from TNA to join their faction and have them just destroy the whole company and then have the system turn face?
But instead of turning them heel, keep them face and have them join Joe Hendry. And Joe Hendry battles the system. Unless Eric Young brings them in.
Hmm. Who else do they have that can be like a greasy heel?
Burt Macklin.
That's not bad, actually.
I kind of like the Steve Macklin idea.
But it would have to be someone that you need Paul Ellering to talk.
Kaz, Eric Young.
Kaz wouldn't be a bad one, actually. I think Kaz could work. Anyways, that I thought that was like a really. I was like, you know what? That's not a bad idea because she's a
Yeah.
good wrestler too.
Rachel Ellering. Yeah. She just never was given the time and the.
And then you have this that's telling a
Oh,
similar story
wait a
to
minute.
AEW.
Wait a minute. Charlotte is back, right?
Yeah,
Okay. You have Ellering, you have Blanchard, and you have Flair. What if
but that
she
would
cha
take away from that a whole storyline. This would be a
but what if
different
she what
storyline.
if she challenges Masha instead?
I mean, it's not a bad idea.
This is just speculation. This is us just fantasy
Yeah, I would
booking. It's
just
not.
if in that case, I would have her win the NXT belt
Yeah.
and then have Charlotte win a belt and then have Tesha Blanchard win the TNA belt and then have them
Yeah.
be a faction that crosses all three brands now.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, you know what they're called? Legacy.
Yeah. It's already taken.
Legacy 2.
Yeah.
The
But
Legacing.
moving on, another name that was very shocking that was released, which was a Triple H guy, was Cedric Alexander because he was involved in a pretty big storyline in
So
NXT.
I'm gonna keep saying this for the whole thing. Every single person that got released is a Triple H guy, which
Yeah,
makes it even more baffling that any of them
except the
happen,
last ones
except
we'll
the last
mention.
one. But that's fine. But there, it's like it's kind of strange that you went through all the trouble of bringing these people back to release them. And the rumor I'm hearing a lot for the generalized releasing is they Triple H doesn't care about having his guys anymore. They're just TKO wants to have the best, biggest names on the company.
Possible, yeah,
So it's he doesn't really have a choice. They're not renewing their contracts. These are none of these
yeah.
are real releases, I think.
I think these are like they're gonna be like some of them are like their contracts are done and they're just moving on.
Yeah, they're just getting rid of they're just dumping them.
Like I think Cedric is like I think
Cedric was
he's
actually being talked about that he was going to be released for the last couple weeks. So when this happened, I
yeah.
wasn't shocked at
I
all.
wasn't, and Cedric will fit right back in AEW joining Hurts, and that's where he's gonna go. You know
Don't
that,
say that. I don't
but
want
you know that that's what's gonna
it's
happen.
this is one of those situations when you have to look at Tony Khan in the face and be like, "You don't need this guy. He's not worth the money or the time it's going to take to put him in a story.
Yeah,
You already have too much going on. You don't need him at all. Zero.
yeah,
Let him go."
I know. He fit back in back to Ring of Honor for him.
That's what everyone kept saying. Put him with Caprice Coleman,
Yeah.
something like it used to be. But
They
in
used to
my
be. They
opinion, let
used to
him.
be a
Yeah,
tag
yeah.
team.
Let him go to Japan. That's where he would be most useful.
Cedric, it would be great in the junior division in Noah.
Yeah, or get him in TNA. I don't know if Kenny King and
I don't know where Kenny King is
what's
now.
the other guy's name? There was those two black guys that looked almost exactly the same. Like
Oh
they were
yeah,
the
yeah.
same style of wrestler. It was Kenny King and fucking I don't remember the other
I
guy's
remember the
name.
other guy's name. Yeah.
What the hell? Okay, I
No.
don't know, but you
Well,
just
it'll
make
come
them be
back.
a faction. That seems to
Yeah.
be the thing in wrestling now.
It's factions.
Whatever
Yeah.
your background is, just put them all together in one group.
Yeah. So Cedric Alexander was kind of another Triple H guy. Giovanni Vinci was released again.
That one is the strangest one, and I've seen a lot of people online just saying they really hope he goes to Japan because he's perfect for the
Yeah.
junior division in New
He
Japan.
may go back to Rev Pro. That's where he was. He wrestled on the European scene, so he may go back to the European scene.
Can they afford him?
Rev Pro, I think, would be able to dish out the or IC Pro.
Maybe for like per appearances, like if he
Yeah.
just tours Europe, but I don't think any of those companies could outright sign him.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. To round out the men, Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows.
It's one of those ones where I don't care. You didn't
Yeah.
use them well to begin. Right from the start, you did not use them well.
And they will go right back to Japan and reform the OG Bullet Club.
Yeah, go back to Japan or go to TNA. I think you have Carl Anderson show back up in this is fantasy booking in New Japan as like an outright like this is my turf, and then start a Bullet Club on Bullet Club war where you put all the Chase Owens, Kenta, all those guys with
The
the Good
original,
Brothers
yeah,
against the War Dogs.
because Carl was the original leader at one time, wasn't he?
He was like a quasi leader, I guess, when Finn first was
Yeah,
leaving, and then you had the takeover from AJ.
yeah.
Carl was kind of like in charge there, just like how Tama was kind of in charge
In
in the
charge for a little bit.
a
Yeah, but
little period.
that's personally what I would like. So moving on to the women, Isla Dawn, former tag champion.
Which there's already rumors that Elba Fire is going to get released as soon as her
Yeah,
contract expires.
yeah.
I would like to see them go to TNA because TNA needs to fix their women's division
Yeah.
really bad.
And in a way, they could probably still work with WWE.
Yeah. There's definitely going to be like in terms of females leaving companies in the next upcoming like batch from
Yeah,
every company. Stardom is going to reach out to a lot of people because they need to
yeah.
replenish. They've been robbed a lot for a
So
lot of
let's
talent.
talk about our next female release then, who would be a perfect fit in Stardom is Blair Davenport.
Yeah. That was my initial thought that she'll probably go to Japan. But I've seen a lot of people say she's gonna get signed to AEW, but I don't think so because
They
her
don't
and Will
need her.
Ospreay are used to date, and I don't think
Yeah.
Tony would want to piss him off.
And another one, the last of the releases, which was a big name because she's been there for a long time, is Sonya Deville.
Yeah, and it's weird because I think we saw all of these women show up at the Rumble, didn't we? Maybe not Isla Dawn.
Deville Deville was the only one that showed up, but
Oh yeah.
she's in a major story with the
No,
big
Blair Davenport was at the Rumble, wasn't
No,
she?
she was not.
I thought she was.
No.
Yeah, but it's
Sonya
like
Dev
you had Sonya Deville show up at the Rumble, then a week later you cut her.
Yeah, but she's in the middle of a big storyline too with what are they called? I don't even know what the faction's called, but it's the one with Zoe Stark and Shayna
Yeah,
Baszler.
I think they're gonna let everybody go. Like this,
So this
there's
is
gonna be
probably
more
not the end.
releases.
Yeah, this is not the end. Alba Fire will probably be another one that'll go. I see if what's her name can't stay healthy, Dakota Kai could be another one that'll get cut.
I heard that's what someone was telling me. They're like, don't be shocked if Dakota Kai gets released in the next couple of weeks. And it's like
I think Baszler might be another one that might get released too.
maybe, but Baszler will easily go somewhere. She has enough name value. Where like
Yeah.
I don't think Dakota Kai has enough name value. I think Dakota Kai's name only has value in the WWE universe. Not that she's bad.
Yeah.
I just think name recognition. Um,
Dakota Kai, I see her fitting back into Japan, back to
which is
Stardom,
good. That would
back
be
to Joshi
awesome.
Pro. Yeah.
That would be wicked. And we need to rebuild those women's divisions.
Yeah.
Getting a big name like that in TJP would be crazy
Yeah.
because Joshi Pro lost
Talent.
a lot of talent because now Riho's like we don't know doing what.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yuka Sakazaki's gone,
She's officially with AEW.
and
Yeah.
then you have what's her name? Maki Ito's like she's still there, but she's always doing stuff in the States.
Promotional. Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, Dakota Kai's not a bad show to get her out.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. What are some, okay. So enough of the fan.
I think I already know what you're gonna ask. What I think are gonna be some of the people next?
Yeah. Who do you think is next? We mentioned Dawn. We mentioned Dakota Kai.
I think there's gonna be a huge wave of NXT failures that are gonna get released, like people that they brought in for their like 2 year tryout that are
You
just
know
gonna
who
be
I
like
think is another
bye.
name, another big name that might be let go is Apollo Crews.
Yeah, they don't even use him. I think depending on storyline value and where they're planning to go with storyline, I think you could see. And I actually really like Adriana Rizzo. I don't know what her
Hmm.
real name is, but I think that whole faction might get released except for Tony D'Angelo.
Tony and the other guy, his original
No,
guy, Stax.
I think Stax will get released. Stax doesn't do anything.
You
He
think
just
Tony will
exists.
storyline whack-a-mole?
He'll just turn on them, and then they'll release them.
They'll disappear.
Yeah, exactly. And then that will be your storyline. He'll have a new family that's
Yeah.
stronger and better.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying that as soon as his contract is nearing the end, Lexus King is going to get released.
Already, eh?
I don't know if that's true because I haven't been paying attention to any storylines to know.
Apparently the big story, the big thing right now is Lexus King going into a feud with Ace Austin for the Heritage Cup.
I like that. That's okay. But he hasn't been good at all, really, since he's been in NXT.
No, I mean he's facing Dirty Dango on Tuesday.
Oh, wow. Dirty Dango, who's came
Still,
back as Fandango because the WWE doesn't want to acknowledge that he's somebody else in case you can't remember who he
yeah.
is.
Well, he called him. They called him JDC.
Yeah.
They did call
Just
him JDC.
just Dango's cock.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. But the crowd was into it though. Like it was
Yeah,
a
that's
pretty big.
fine. I like Dango. I'm not going to
Yeah,
complain. It's weird. This is my thing. It's weird when guys like Dango have safe, secure jobs, but wrestlers like
right.
Blair Davenport are getting released.
Yeah, right.
Like Carl Anderson is a really like big name.
It is. It's one of the biggest. I think he might be the one, like you said, go to Japan. You say Kenny was the one who put Japan on the map in terms of the West? No, it was the Bullet Club. Carl Anderson was, and I think that could be a great storyline for him.
Yeah, and you could just have him show up at the next pay-per-view, right? You don't even have to like have any lead up. Just
No.
have his music kick in and then have him come out.
Yeah.
Um,
Or the
yeah,
OG Bullet Club theme, Bullet Club.
maybe they convince El Fantasmo to come back. I mean, I don't
Uh,
know if I need that, but it's like you
Yeah.
have that. You have the
That's
option.
fantasy. That's fantasy. But yeah,
You
I
have
mean,
options.
this is going to be a short episode. We won't drag this one on
No, we're
too long.
dragging this out. Did you know that Elijah is signed to AEW and he
Yes,
joined the Righteous?
I like that though.
I really like that. I was like, oh,
Yes, I'm the one who sent you that link.
well, thanks for ruining it for the people outside.
Keep kayfabe real.
You know, me trying to kayfabe it up, and this guy's just like, oh, I know that.
It's a work shoot, brother.
Yeah, I think that's excellent.
I really like that. Like that'll work well.
And I
It'll be a
like when I read it that they're having now exclusive ROH deals
hmm.
where you don't cross over. It's just you have a deal, you work in Ring of Honor.
This could be a way to put some gold on the three of them. Give them the trios belt.
It's funny because let's talk about bloated. Just generally, like
Hmm.
the AEW roster, WWE is now the most bloated. I think
Yeah.
WWE has taken over, especially in their women's
But I mean, with
division.
all this talent coming in, especially on the women's side, these women releases don't surprise me because
No, you're
these
gonna
are,
get way more.
yeah,
Like Liv Morgan, this storyline was her literally fighting for her life because she would have got released had she stayed where she was
oh
prior
yeah,
to the Judgment Day story.
oh yeah,
Um, Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of people go. Like the Maxine Duprees are gonna get all cut.
Yeah.
I have a really strong feeling Karrion Cross is gonna get cut.
You think he'll be next?
Yeah, I think he provides nothing for them.
Unless Karrion Cross is takes over from Bo Dallas there.
Well, I heard it's gonna be Alexa Bliss, so
Everybody says that they've been saying that for the last year.
well, let's just see.
We'll
Anywho,
wait and see. Yeah.
um,
This is just like I said, fantasy booking
uh,
on our end.
off topic a bit though, but back to what I
Hmm.
was saying. The Ring of Honor, I think the Ring
Yeah.
of Honor needs some actual star power and not just AEW wrestlers getting crossed over to Ring of
Yeah.
Honor.
Kind of like what they're doing with Sammy and Dustin
Yeah.
and all
Like
that.
rebuild as the indie product that you used to be and just have it have nothing to do with AEW. You can have AEW people wrestle matches on the pay-per-views, but on the week to week, it shouldn't be about AEW wrestlers.
Which is what it is.
That's the problem, right? You should go
Yeah.
back to like running weekly shows out of little venues where people come to watch fucking Kevin Steen and El Generico.
And the thing is, too, your women's champion is technically an AEW signee, not a Ring of Honor
I mean,
employee.
mind you, she's amazing, so who cares?
And I'm waiting for the feud with Deanna
Yeah,
because they're doing nothing. They signed her over a year ago and they haven't done anything with her.
have your CMLL crossover be push it to Ring of Honor and have so that you get all the Mexican fans starting to watch Ring of Honor. Then you
Yeah.
funnel a new fan base in there and then just keep Japanese stuff with AEW until you do your
Yeah.
big crossover shows, right?
Yeah.
Because now you can make Forbidden Door be Ring of Honor versus the AEW verse, and then
New
now you have
Japan
four
and
companies, right?
CMLL. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we shall see. But yeah. Anything else you got to add to this little mini episode?
Who do you think's going to get released?
So, like I said, Apollo is definitely one of the names I think is going to get released. Apollo Crews is definitely either that or his contract is not going to be renewed. Karrion Cross is probably another one but see, I would have thought Karrion Cross would have, if they would have released him, they would have released him with his partner, right? With the Authors of Pain. So that might make me think there's one in NXT that I forgot her name and she's terrible and it was I forgot her name. Danny Palmer. She's like another one I think is gone.
They need to get rid of that stupid girl that was part of Top Dolla's team.
Oh, BFAB.
Like, how is she still a thing?
What about Sleepy Asian?
Oh yeah, somebody actually just told me that too. Randomly, just was like, "Do you see all the releases today? I think they're gonna release Sleepy Asian." That's what he said. He doesn't know her name either.
Wendy Chu is her name.
Wendy Chu.
Yeah. Sleepy Asian.
But that see, when I think of the reason that I'm not a big
Right?
WWE fan, it's literally those characters. Like
Gimmicks like this.
he's
Yes.
a garbage man.
Yeah.
He's a dentist. He's a
Yeah.
ghost. Like what? He's a ghost. That's your
Literally.
character. He's a
He's a
ghost.
baseball.
He's a base. Yeah, he's the goon from hockey. He wears skates. Yeah, that's safe.
Yeah. But yeah, Danny Palmer, that's her name. You think they're gonna release any of the new like that faction with Jasmine Nix and all that?
I don't know for sure, but I think they're on really thin ice. I think they're on really thin ice, and I think if not Roxy, what's the other idiot's name?
Cora Jade?
If Cora Jade's TNA situation doesn't go really well, she's gonna get released too.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
doesn't provide anything, and I'm sure
No.
of all the women that you have, she's not cheap because you probably put her on a secondary. She's on her
Yeah.
second contract now. She's not on like the rookie
On the
contract
rookie
anymore.
yeah. It's like people like Sol Ruka or
Yeah,
Kalani
like you
Jordan.
have
They
people
have
you don't need those. You don't need
yeah.
her anymore.
But now you got Vakur, you got Julia. Like, I mean, yes, they're gonna move up soon, but
You have people like, and these are not to say they're like good, but we've talked about this. You have JC Jane and you
mhm.
have
Gigi
Gigi
Dolan.
Dolan, and you're not really doing anything with them.
Yeah.
Even the
You,
other girl, the other like crazy girl, I can't remember her name.
Thea Hale.
No, the crazy one that's in the group with Gigi Dolan,
Oh, Tatum Paxley.
Tatum Paxley.
You know what? That's another name I think could be gone too.
But those people are all more talented
Yeah.
than Cora Jade, and it's like, what are we holding on to Cora Jade for?
Yeah.
She's not dating Braun Breaker anymore.
So yeah, she's completely worthless.
Like, you know what I mean? That I'm
Yeah.
sure that's what kept her there for a long period of time, and that's what got
Yeah.
the push, at least.
Yeah. But I mean, I hate for anybody to lose their job, and I'm hopefully, they'll find something.
It opens up the landscape
Yeah.
of okay, so this is how I see it. The bidding wars of the early 2020s are over. The
Yeah,
Okadas,
the giant
everybody's done.
free agency, yeah.
It's over. So now it's the filling out your roster phase for like the next 3 years where
Until
we're
those
gonna
big contracts are up
and it's
again.
like that's how TNA's women's roster at that one point got really good because you had all your big names and then you filled it out with quality stuff. So they have
Hmm.
to everyone's in this phase now of like use these people that have been released to restructure your rosters.
Yeah. Before other companies see the
Yeah,
potential in.
New Japan has a severe lack right now of
Hmm.
like just
Mid-card talent.
new they don't really have any new blood. It's just been the same people
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah. Like the future does look bright with your Sujis and your Umanos and your, you know what I mean, and your Oiwas and
And you know how bad like a Noah could use like a Cedric Alexander. So
yeah, he'd fit right into that junior heavyweight division.
or Giovanni Vinci. Those
Yeah,
two, if you could get both of them at once, there you
that's a
go.
steal. That is absolutely a steal. But yeah. Anyway, well, with that out of the way, guys, who do you think is the biggest shock do you think that was released by the WWE? Leave your comments down in the description box below, okay? Let us know if you think anybody else is going to get released. What big names do you think are going to get released? And make sure you go like, comment, share, subscribe on this video. Follow us on Spotify. We're growing on Spotify. We're hitting big over there. So make sure you give that a follow. Give this guy a follow. Campo.Reviews. Everything will be down in the description box below. So with that out of the way, in the words of Kenny Omega, who I hope never gets released, goodbye and good night.